If I had to sum up my experience from the Boston Waltham area, it would be the hype was palpable. The energy exuded from the players, the cries of anguish, the howls of ecstasy could all be heard every round between both events. There are also rules that buffed goblins, and I believe that contributed to the wholesome degeneracy just a little bit. First things first, let's talk about the convention. Remember, if you like what you see, like, share, sub, spread the love. It helps a lot. Let's get into it. Everwinter was held at the Westin Waltham Boston and nearby Hyatt House because it outgrew its original space at the last minute. At check-in, attendees would receive a swag bag with some gaming tokens, a decal, and lanyard. From December 8th through 10th, 2023, they engaged in tabletop gaming tournaments, painting contests, and hobby workshops. Personally, I spent nearly all my time there playing the best game of all. In the dead of winter, when all the world still is glass, only one thing can stir the titans of the gridiron from their slumber: the rumblings of a tournament. But there's no sense rushing into the main event still half asleep and hungover from Oktoberfest only 2 months prior. The only thing to get the blood pumping in time for Blood Bowl is more Blood Bowl. This was the description given for the Warmup Throwdown 2023, a Sevens event held on the Friday night preceding the Elevens event. The format was pretty standard, awarding Tier 3 teams with either 3 primary skills or 1 primary and 1 secondary, Tier 2 teams with 1 primary skill, and Tier 1 teams with no extra skills. The list of available inducements was quite large for a Sevens event, and it's worth peeking at the link in the description to see. The winter weather chart from Death Zone was in use. When looking at the team spread, the thing that stands out first is that Tier 3 teams had a ton of skills and a lengthy list of inducements to pick from, so they made up a third of the teams that were there. Beyond that, we had a couple humans, and then we had a high elf, dark elf, dwarf, renegades, Amazon, Tomb King, Skaven, Nurgle, orc. It was a fairly balanced spread overall, but that was still a whole lot of stunnies to see in one place at one time. It led very much to the chaotic energy of the evening. In terms of organization, the event went off without a hitch. Ian did a great job running it. I spoke to him a little bit to try to get his vision for what he wanted for the tournament. So here's that. We are here with Ian. He's running the Sevens event here tonight at the Everwinter Convention. How's it going?
It's going great. Good to see you.
Yeah. What was kind of your vision for the tournament tonight?
So, Blood Bowl is a beautiful game, and a big part of that beauty comes in the way that it teaches us that as mere mortals, we are really helpless before the power of the dice. So, no format of Blood Bowl really drives that home the way Sevens does.
That's entirely true.
Rerolls, they're an excellent safety net, but you really, by learning to play without them, you become a better player.
Yep.
The tournament tomorrow, it's a big tournament. People are excited, and I just wanted to give them a chance to throw some dice around, have some fun, watch some players get injured, and have the stakes just be a little lower. So that's what we're doing here tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, that's the Sevens warm-up events are always fun. I've been to a few of them now. But one thing that I've kind of taken away, because I've only been to about 3 Sevens tournaments now, is every skull counts like 3 times the skulls for 11s.
It does.
Same with ones.
Well, with 11s, you've got 16 turns. So if you turn over one early, it's tough, but you can come back. And in 7s, you've only got 12 turns, and it hurts that much more.
Absolutely.
Just in case anyone didn't realize, we're playing a Sevens tonight. We are using a custom weather table. It is the winter weather table. This is Nebin rules, meaning that anything that is a casualty that you contributed to counts as a casualty. The results of the round, and when you are finished, you will both bring your sheets to me. If your sheets do not agree, then we will have a discussion about it, and I will be angry.
After 3 rounds of stunty-fueled chaos, it was time for the awards.
First place, winner of the Hot Chocolate Cup, we have Alex O. I'd like to thank the Baron of Dice for sponsoring this tournament. First loser was conveniently also the winner of the Boiling Blood Cup. Brian O.D., would you come up, take your mug, and select the prize? Next, the steaming paint water. The winner of the best painted award, according to this, that goes to Zachary.
Yeah.
Finally, we have the Melting Thimble Award for the winner of the Stunty Cup. Anthony, would you come up?
Safe as hell.
Mind goblin.
So with the runner-up for most casualties, Sarah, please come up and take the last prize.
Nice.
Thanks, Snotlings.
See, they're good for something.
I was able to grab a word with Alex the next day about his win. Alright, we're here with the winner from the Sevens tournament. We had 18 folks last night, so that's nothing to sneeze at. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm Alex. I'm from New York City, so mostly play in
Nice.
the club in Brooklyn. And started in 2018 in Blood Bowl, so right before COVID.
Yeah.
Played a bit online, but also a lot of tournaments. Everything basically I can get in Northeast. I'm also really excited that next year we have bigger tournament series.
Yep. Yeah, how was your team? What were you running?
So I played humans because humans are tier 2, so you get a free skill and humans are super good.
Yeah.
And I actually had the best results with humans so far in all the tournaments.
Well, it's nice to start with those core skills too.
Yeah, because I had an ogre, 2 blitzers, and a thrower with a block.
How are your matchups? Did any of them particularly stand out?
I played 1 humans and then 2 Skaven.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was a bit annoying.
When you're hanging out at the top tables at Sevens, you're going to run into Skaven. It's just kind of how it is.
And when Skaven rolled timeout in first game to get an extra turn to score, and a blitz in the second game.
Oh, that's so
But still
good.
got lucky enough.
But overall, is there anything with your roster you would have changed or whatever?
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, congrats. Is there any shout-outs you want to
Thank
give
you.
to anybody or anything?
It's the biggest tournament in Northeast I ever attended, so and the
Oh,
organization
nice.
is great.
That's really good.
Thank you for organizing it.
Yeah, thank you for your time. If what Ian says is true, and playing Sevens does make you a better player, then I don't want to try to interpret what my performance means, but that'll be covered in the matchup section. Suffice to say, there was a lot of stunny shenanigans. There were 3 players named Steve, which led to absolutely no confusion whatsoever, and I think we all ended up near the bottom tables at one point, so that was pretty fantastic. Overall, it was a great time. As far as a warm-up, absolutely it was. And then I'm sure we all were perfectly rested the next day. And I think the crowd said it best when they said,
Thank you.
Way to show Rob how to run a tournament.
Whoa.
Saturday morning had come, and the Snow Bowl was upon all the surely well-rested participants. Apparently it had grown from single digits in 2022 to 50 registered for 2023. With how dynamic the event was, I would not be surprised to see it grow even more next year, and I would encourage anyone to come out for it. I really liked the format for this tournament and the attention to detail paid to underrepresented playstyles. The build total was 1.25 million gold. The inducements were what you would expect, but giants were also allowed. Teams were divvied up by 4 tiers. In addition to the usual skill limitations for higher tiers and extra skills for lower tiers, there were also passing skills that got added. So for tier 1, you could get 4 primaries, plus your choice of accurate or cannoneer. Tier 2 got 5 primaries, plus 1 secondary, plus accurate and cannoneer. Tier 3 got 5 primaries, plus 3 secondaries, plus accurate, cannoneer, and on the ball. And Tier 4, which is populated by just goblins and ogres, had 6 primary skills, plus 4 secondary, plus accurate, cannoneer, on the ball, and a plus passing. I love kits like this because it encourages a lot of creativity. I've talked before that I'm very much a brewer, And I love just coming up with wonky lists ideas, and there is so much potential to explore in just this format. I'd like to highlight one bullet point that feels almost iconic. It says Goblin Injustice. GW clearly has it in for goblins. The Goblin Civil Liberties Union, GCLU, has not so secretly bribed all tournament officials. Goblin squads will start with a free bribe. In addition, a package of 3 bribes may be purchased for 100k. This can bring Goblin coaches to a maximum of 4 bribes. Just this one dynamic drastically changed things, and I'm all for it. I wish this was in the rulebook. Also in use were a special weather table and kickoff table, which I'll throw up on the screen for a few seconds. One may wonder what kind of team spread a packet like this would generate, and let's look at that. We had very good representation from Amazons and Norse, a little bit less from Human and Tomb Kings, a little bit less from Chaos Renegades and Vampires. At 2 ofs, we had Goblin, Halfling, Khorne, Lizardmen, Necromantic Horror, Nurgle, and Orcs, and Underworld Denizens. At 1 of, we had Black Orcs, Chaos Chosen, Dwarves, Chaos Dwarves, Elven Union, Old World, Shambling Undead, and Skaven. Pay attention to the 1 Old World Alliance, because that's going to come up later.
Paul's gonna run some fun mini games during the event. We're gonna call out first.
So, look up on the wall. If you do any of those, and that thing is still up there, congrats! You should be embarrassed or proud, or both. And go ahead and announce it. We'll all cheer, we'll all clap. And yeah,
so everybody knows what they are.
that's a great idea. You foul and then you get sent off. If you foul and you pass. If you block and you pass, which is pretty soon. If you complete a long bomb. If you one-turn touchdown.
The minigame definitely added a separate little strategic element. I was able to talk to Rob about the event. We are here with Rob, who invited me out to this event, and I'm really glad. It's been an awesome event so far. Been run really smoothly, using the table numbers, which is always a plus. So what was your goal with the event? Kind of what was your vision?
First of all, thank you for coming all the way out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. The vision for the event was twofold. I usually split things tier-wise into 4 tiers or more. I try and look at the win rates across all the NAF data and try and boost up the teams that are underperforming and give them a little bonus. In this case, Goblins and Ogres are down in tier 4 by themselves. And the GCLU, which I'm not wearing that shirt, sorry.
Yeah, I'll put the logo up on the screen.
Give the Goblins extra bribe potential. So Halflings get 3 for 100k, their chef for 100k instead of 300k. Goblins should have a similar package on their bribes, in my opinion.
I'll take what I can get.
But we also want to add a bunch of passing skills to the event. There's not enough passing in the game. There's a lot of running lately with 2020.
Well, I can say personally, on my Tomb Kings thrower, I actually attempted a pass, and I've never done that in a tournament. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we want to see. And I can't, other than a weird Boomvember interception, I can't remember the last time I've seen an interception in Blood Bowl. And there's actually none in round 1 because that superlative is still up on the wall.
I had a deflect, but yeah, it didn't turn into an intercept.
Yeah,
it was
hopefully
like
we get one today.
Yeah.
Like that would be an awesome thing because you just don't see them. So I wanted to promote people airing it out. So as the tiers go down, you get a little bit more passing skills to help that as well. But really, the vision was really just to grow the event. Last year we had 6 folks attend plus me running it. 12 signed up. This year we had 48.
Yeah, that's good growth.
Amazing growth. The pitches are beautiful. Every coach that comes to the event gets to take home one of those pitches. So I think that really helped entice people to come out and join us, even though it's close to the holidays. And so, yeah.
I think you're able to feed off the Chaos Cup hype, too, a little bit.
I think that helped out a lot. I mean, I was able to advertise down there. I donated a couple pitches down there to bring awareness to it. I've been, on different podcasts and talking about it, trying to promote it. And so, yeah, this is a great, opportunity as well to promote for next year.
Yeah. Well, any events of yours that I can get out to, I will do my best to.
Awesome.
So.
Yep, and we'll try and get out your way too. I owe TJ an appearance in Colorado, I think.
Nice.
That's pretty close, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And is there any shout-outs you want to give or any events you want to promote coming up?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank all the coaches for coming out. This wouldn't happen without y'all coming here. 48 was an amazing turnout. Next year we'll hope to crack 50 or even 60 and make it even bigger.
Yep.
Our 2024 tournament series for Nebben, which is the Northeast Blood Bowl Network, will encompass all the New England states plus New York and New Jersey now. So we're merging Bats and Nebben together into one big series. We will have 20 events, including at least one in every state next year.
That's really
They
good.
will all be 11s events. This year we mixed in the variants because we were small and growing. Now we can do just 11s for the tournament series next year, which is cool. The New Year's Bash is the first one. That's January 6th, I believe, in Nassau, New York. That's a team event, so you and one other partner pair up. You get $2.5 million to build your teams,
Okay.
and you can actually share the money. Minimum of 1.2 per team, but that
Nice.
100K in the middle you can argue about to your heart's content.
That's really cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff there. And hot tip: vampires are in tier 3. I don't know why. Do that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got Kraken's Cup at Captain Con in February.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, thank you again for coming out. I really appreciate it.
At the end of round 1, the top tables were Goblins versus Khorne, Orcs versus Norse, Old World Alliance versus Amazons, Vampires versus Nurgle, Norse versus Amazons, Lizardmen versus Nurgle, Amazons versus Norse, and a certain somebody's Tomb Kings versus Necromantic Horror. At the end of round 2, the top 8 tables were Lizardmen versus Goblins, Old World Alliance versus Norse, Orcs versus Vampires, Underworld versus Humans, Amazons versus Humans, Norse versus Tomb Kings, Necromantic Horror versus Khorne, and Humans versus Lizardmen. After 3 rounds of grueling, passing, incentivized Blood Bowl, there was the awards.
We have a clear champion, second place, third place, and then a tie in fourth and fifth, broken by tiebreakers. We have a clear winner for casualties and touchdowns. We also have a clear asshole that fouls a lot, and that would be me.
Yeah, how dare you?
So there's that. I have been given $500 in gift certificates to give out to people through email through this event. This is a gift given to us by Wicked Dicey and by a store up in Derry, New Hampshire. So hats off to them. They gave us a beer, which you should still be drinking. I would like one, damn it. Sam Adams in there for me. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. I had a bunch of guys volunteer to answer rule questions last night and tonight that wore these linesman things to help out. So just a round of applause for all those guys. We love you. We're gonna start with the biggest award of all, okay? And I don't think it's gonna be a surprise who won the Stunty Cup today. It's a true legend among Goblin coaches.
I think he's a pillar.
The head of the Goblin Civil Liberty Union.
Skax!
And Skax is the best Chaos Renegade Goblin in the world. And this idiot won the Stunty Cup. So I'm gonna steal one of these, but no prize money. because
Good
it's my
job
event.
bringing the tournament
Thank
up.
you. All right. And I was the dirtiest kid. The best painting is our next award that we're going to go over. And that was a landslide, I am told. So thank you to Rob Eng for tallying the votes while I was busy doing all this. I appreciate it. Another quick round. Jamie Morris and his insane squig posse. What do we want, cash or touchdowns first?
Touchdown.
All right.
Anybody can get a
Who
cash.
said touchdowns over here?
Us.
That guy.
What do you expect?
All right, it is that guy.
Oh,
Level 6,
be that guy.
Carl Barber, most touchdowns on the day.
How many?
Nine.
All right, we are talking to the winner of the most touchdowns.
Hi, my name's Paul Barber.
Nice. What were you running today?
I was running Underworld Denizens with full 16 players. I ended up with 3 rerolls, Bloodwiser Babe, Acorn, and a Wizard.
Okay, cool. What was your skill selection like?
So I had 4 skills to take. I took Guard and Tackle on my Storm Vermin, I took Juggernaut on my Rat Ogre, and I took Block on my Gut Owner.
Cool. Is there anything like you would change based on your matchups, or how was your experience with it?
I don't think so. I ended up going 3-0 today and coming in third, and I had some pretty hard-fought wins. I ended up scoring 9 touchdowns. I think I won 3-2, 4-1, and 2-1. And so I don't really think there's anything I would change. I think I could have played a little bit better today, but I think I still put together a solid performance.
Well, if you went undefeated, that says something about the caliber of the competition too, and how close the bonus point spread must have been.
Well, one of them I had to play was my father, so.
All right, if there was somebody who, let's say they were thinking about getting into Blood Bowl or coming to tournaments or things, and they were maybe nervous or whatever, throw a couple sentences at them to make them maybe feel more comfortable.
It is a phenomenal community. If you're worried at all about, gamers maybe being awkward or anything, they're the nicest people in the world. Blood Bowl tournaments are so unbelievably welcoming. If you play someone really experienced at your first tournament, they will teach you. That's something you don't see in a lot of games. I'd really recommend it, 100%.
Nice. And is there any shout-outs you want to give or anything you want to promote?
I want to promote my own tournament, the New Year's Bash. It's in Albany, New York on January 6th. It's a partners tournament, and if you're in the Nebin Discord, if you can find your way into that, the rule set's there, my contact information is all there.
Cool, yeah. And I will have a link to anything you want in the description as well. Well, thanks for taking a couple minutes to talk to me.
Thanks very much.
Our casualty winner is a very, very aggressive player on the pitch, and that will be Matt Barber with 16 on the day. We're going to go with number 1 first. All right. So number 1 will get this trophy. They will get a NAF shield because we had 24 or more coaches at the event. They will also obviously get prize money. But rising up from table 2 and passing a couple of chuckleheads at table 1, James Levins, congratulations. Well done. Only behind him by 5 points. And coming up as well, Mr. George Silva is our second place coach. All right, congratulations.
All right, we're sitting here with first and second place of the Everwinter Snow Bowl. Who we have here in first?
Jleav, James Levins. I don't really care what you call me.
George Silva.
What were y'all running today?
Old World Alliance with Ivar Eriksson.
What kind of skills were you looking at?
3-guard, Juggernaut Catcher was fun. Block on a tree, Mighty Low Tackle Stack on the Blitzer, and Leader added to the thrower with all the bonus passing skills.
Orcs with Nabla, with the chainsaw. Chainsaw is always fun, and I went block heavy. All my biggins had block, the troll had block, and I had wrestle on my thrower, which didn't work at all. But the chainsaw took some casualties at the beginning, and block always helped out.
So other than wrestle, like between y'all, are there any changes you would make? Like any skill choices or anything without psychically knowing your matchups?
No, I think I was a fan of my roster. I was debating on whether or not I put a skill on the tree at all, but the alternative was taking like a second Juggernaut on the Troll Slayer. That just didn't feel necessary.
And for me, no. I mean, to be honest, I did not actually make my roster. The people in my league, LIBBL, did. So I have to actually give shout out to the league on helping me out on that.
Nice. On that note, any shout outs you want to give or anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I mean, I stream on Twitch over twitch.tv/Jleav, Jleav.
Cool. We'll have a link to that in the description here.
And for me, it's just a league, LIBBL. I mean, we play two games a month, and it's been the longest running league on Long Island. We've got strong fan base, and I have to thank those guys for helping me out, and especially the commissioner, Mark Zuckerberg.
All right, surprise bonus question, right? And you have to say the first thing that comes to mind. The worst coaches play.
Goblins.
All right, it's unanimous.
Best defense is a 4-way tie. We have the guy who shouted out and asked for it. He knew he did well. He knew he did well. So we have Ian. Congratulations. I think you let in 1 touchdown, it looks like.
I'm glad I could help you, Ian. I scored 0.
All right. Thank you guys again. Anything else? We're good?
Thanks,
all right.
Rob.
You guys are the
I just want to make a quick note that I've edited a lot of award ceremonies, and that one was by far the most unhinged, beautiful thing I've ever seen. People were just talking shit the entire time. I'm going to actually upload the entire unedited award ceremony as a separate upload. I could not squeeze it all in here and have it be coherent, but it will show you exactly what I mean when I say this event exuded this insane energy the entire time and was an absolute blast. Congratulations to all the winners, and let's take a look at what was in the top 8. And first we had Old World Alliance with Ivar. We had Orcs with Nabla. We had Underworld Denizens with Acorn. Had Lizardmen with Dribble and Drool. Goblins with Fungus and Glart. Amazons with Dribble and Drool. Humans with Mighty Zug. And Renegades with Lord Borak. I will leave all those rosters up on the screen for a second, so pause it if you want to look at them in detail. It's interesting to see the star spread, and I personally really like Dribble and Drool, so it makes me happy to see some representation for them. I want to give a personal shout out to Rob. Thank you for inviting me. It was fantastic. The tournament was wild. I hope any of the events I go to next year can match the level of energy that everybody had the entire time. It was super fun. What is up, coaches, cheerleaders, and Warp Spawn? We are back in the Reno airport. We got a layover in Vegas yet again. Pretty much have to fly through there to get anywhere from here. Then we're going to head to Boston. We got the Everwinter convention and then the Snow Bowl at 7s and 11s. So it should be a fun trip. Testing, cool. Well, we made it to Boston. I don't know what I expected, but there are way more buildings than I thought there'd be. There's also way more water. Apparently it's just like a whole bunch of islands. Like flying in, it's just tons of little disconnected pieces of land. Yeah, I kind of just pictured like a normal land-bound city, but apparently not. I don't know, it's cool so far though. Anyone who remotely knows me knows that I prefer buildings to nature. It's not that I have anything against nature, I just find buildings to be way more interesting. I also like cities, I like really populated areas, I like being around other humans, and I don't know, it's just what ultimately makes me happy. And Boston very much is a city-ish city, if that makes sense. I was going to edit some of the footage I'm showing here that I took of walking around, but honestly, I believe the construction or the sometimes random piles of garbage or whatever are just as much a part of the landscape as any historic buildings, which there are a ton of like beautiful historic sites just from what I saw in Boston. I didn't even walk around that much, but I don't know, I love all of it. I think it kind of creates this whole human experience, and I think sometimes we're really tempted to dress things up, but I don't think we really need to dress it up any more than it is. While I really liked what I saw of the city of Boston, I can say that the airport was terrible, like objectively. Here's your quick tip. Okay, if you're flying in, what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the buses. There's a Silver Line. You can take it for free, and you're going to take it all the way down to South Station. That'll get you across the waterway, because you can't just walk out of the airport, really. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. You pretty much have to drive, catch an Uber, a taxi, or hop the bus. Like, there's tunnels and waterways, and you can also supposedly catch a ferry crossing the water. That just sounds super complicated. But yeah, so basically you want to hop on the Silver Line, get to South Station. From there, your Ubers are going to cost like half as much. I'm at the Westin Waltham for the Sevens event tonight. Check-in went really smooth, really easy. Got a cool little swag pack here I'll show you. For the Sevens event, I was running a Snotling roster. It's my first time taking Stunnies to a tournament, thought process behind it was maybe swarming. I could potentially stop like turn 2 Skaven touchdowns or whatever because I could cover enough tackle zones. That didn't really come up, surprisingly. My matchups all went kind of nutty. And first game, I ended up playing against Rob, which was fantastic, and his goblins are horrifying. And if I see goblins again, I'm gonna have to like calm myself down, go pop a Zanny and hang out in the bathroom for 5 minutes and breathe into a paper bag because man, they're scary when piloted well. Our matchup started off with a bang by both of us losing a turn. There was a lot of removals early game. In particular, there was some troll vomit involved, a chainsaw taking out a stilty. A little bit brutal. After handoff, there was a failed throw on turn 6 to try to score. I got some KOs back, and my bribe kept my bomber in play at least. However, in the next half, my bomb failed on turn 1. The kick felt close, and there was like an immediate throw teammate on the ball cage. The Koger just broke away. It scored on turn 4, the second half, and it got a counter throw teammate
and then it's either
on turn 5.
dodge,
and there's
or
a counter score
jump
on
dodge.
turn
At least I
6
get a
with the
dodge
Koger
reroll,
again.
so I think I would dodge.
Yeah. It was a crazy game. It maybe could have been a draw, but honestly, I feel like Rob was piloting a bit better than I was, but it was really back and forth and fun. Game 2, I played against Sarah and her humans. To give the summarized version, within the first 3 turns, I rolled 4 stupids, and my bomb thrower decided to roll 3 ones throughout the first 3 turns. I did get an extra reroll off of Brilliant Coaching, which was pretty much obligatory. We managed to trade scores in the first half. In the second half, in a throw teammate attempt, my troll ate my ball carrier, which was cool. It's also kind of another first for me. It looked like it might have been a draw. We got down to the very end, and then we have this clutch late game play where Sarah makes a leap and 5 dodges to be able to take the win. It was definitely one of those Nuffle moments that you play Blood Bowl for. Round 3, I ended up playing against Luke's Goblins. This game I don't even have that many pictures for, and I was trying to figure out why I only had like a third of the pictures to pick from, but upon rereading my notes, we both just kept failing our first dice actions, like every turn. It ended up falling way more on his side. Like he rushed with a troll to try to get a good mark on his turn 1, and his troll just died, and it all just started to spiral from there. But I think probably less than half of the game he actually played a full turn. And yeah, I had a bit of that too, from the bombs just going awry or both downs, like so many both downs. It's what it was, but we ended up with 1-0 in my favor. So we ended the Sevens event with 2 losses and 1 win. I played against 2 goblins, and rumor has it there was somebody that played 3 goblins for the entire event. It's the morning of 11s. I'm ready to go, other than my usual lack of sleep, but I got a couple Red Bulls to back me up, so let's do this. For 11s, I was back on my Master Chef Tomb Kings. I was playing against Pets Renegades in round 1. I managed to steal 3 rerolls. Just got through round 1 of the 11s event. I won at 1-0. It was really close to being a 2-0, but a both down off a human thrower kind of stopped that and eliminated my only scoring threat. I would have been like 1 shy of the end zone after that. It went pretty solid overall. I kind of lucked out because I took out several of his big guys early on in the first half, and because of that I was able to snowball a little bit. Second half, full board, so I was a little bit nervous. That's when I ended up scoring, and then I debated stalling. I was kind of stressing about it after, but I went ahead and scored, and luckily I was able to tar pit it enough. But overall, it was really fun. My opponent was really cool, which it's been like every opponent, every Blood Bowl tournament I've gone to pretty much. Going hopefully undefeated today. That's kind of the goal. Backup goal is best defense. The tournament package is really generous for keeping your opponent at 0 touchdowns. So if nothing else, my tiebreakers should be a bit better than Chaos Cup, but we'll find out. Round 2, I was playing against Paul's Necromantic Horror. I did manage to steal both his rerolls in the first half, which felt good. After the Icicle kickoff results, he had a Golem with Stab, and I had a Skeleton with Stab, so that was kind of fun. It actually did end up kind of mattering. I did break my lineup a little bit on the initial drives, but I was doing it to mark up the ball. Ultimately, it pretty much worked out. We had split tar pits going. There were a ton of stuns this game. There's a couple KOs, but tons and tons of stuns. One of my Tomb Guardians got taken out with Stab and did not get a regen on that. It scored on turn 7 by dodging through. The reroll wasn't needed. Second half, we both got Norse linemen. I stole a reroll, he anchored, I caged up back. It was just kind of back and forth, basic stuff. Did get a KO on a Golem and a lineman. Fast forward to the late game, turn 15, his ghoul had run up and knocked down the ball carrier, stolen the ball, and was within scoring range. I was doing everything I could to free up a couple of my players. I failed 2 foul appearances, like back to back, to be able to free up coverage to be able to try to answer the goal, and I was not able to do that. And that was a really, really harsh moment. But we ended up with a draw. It was a really solid game. Round 3, I played against Alex, playing Norse. This is the same Alex that won the Sevens event from the night before, so I knew this wasn't going to be a cakewalk. The entire game, I did not steal any rerolls, which felt super bad. It's the first time out of, 15 tournament games that I've seen where that happened. He was running Borak and using him very effectively. He was describing fouls as stepping on them, which was really fun and very thematic with how it felt. It was another really back and forth game. I was able just to kind of keep the game shut down. He had some very unfortunate dodge rolls, like very unfortunate, but because of that I was able to capitalize and get into position and basically keep a shutout for a while. I did walk up and make a really slow score, but on turn 16, after I had scored, because I was debating stalling. I was debating either just hanging out near the edge, or making it an 0-0 since I was going for best defense, which could have resulted in a crowd surf. I was debating tossing it to an empty square to make his Valkyries waste movement so he couldn't possibly score just by not having enough movement. Or I was debating just running it in just to go ahead and get the score and then hoping nothing happened. But I went ahead and ran it in on turn 15. On turn 16, he set it up to where his Valkyrie was able to get the ball, run up, pass it to an Ulfburner, knock the coverage off of the Ulfburner, and then just run it straight in. So we ended with a draw. After the awards ceremony, we finished up our evenings going up to Jake and Joe's Sports Grill. It was a really good local place that was recommended. I had the Nashville hot wings, and they were super good. You could tell that they were like fried and crispy, and then the sauce was applied after, which you run the risk of it being too moist at that point, but it looks like they spun them immediately after, and it got exactly the right finish for that style of wing. and I'm a big fan of the Nashville hot flavor in general. It was also great getting to spend time with some of the other attendees. It was really cool to meet Jleav. I had already had him added on Twitch, and this is like the third time I've bumped into a random person from the internet that I'm like, oh, we've already interacted to some degree, and then I actually like physically see them in person, so that was really cool. Congrats on the win. Thanks to Rob for running an awesome event. The event was a blast. I'm going to do everything I can to make it back out next year. I would encourage anyone who wants to check it out. I think the thing that's really begun to stick from these trips, because when I first started coming back, it was all about competition. It was cool, like, it was nice being around people that had a similar hobby, that kind of thing. But really just the memories. Because you go and you end up in some other city and you're hanging out with people and you're all laughing and nobody's totally sneaking in outside alcohol into a venue and you're just having a great time. And then when I was sitting at the table at the restaurant looking around, it's like, you know what, I'm going to be in the retirement home someday and I'm going to think back to this moment. And it was a good moment. So thanks again to everybody. If you can, go out, get out the tournaments. If you're interested in me showing up at your event, check the title card at the end. Thanks everybody for watching. What is up, coaches? Oh, wait. Where the fuck is the camera? Whatever.